I have a question for you, and the question is very simple. When do you think you will be ready to launch your movement or to launch your speaking career, to start coaching, to start training and speaking? When will you be ready? When you have money? When your kids go to college? When you finish with this thing you are dealing with? When you get married? When you get a divorce? When will you be ready? When you have enough information? When is the question. So I want to share something with you here that's going to actually give you some insights. And it's going to be very, in essence, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to make the invisible visible for you. Think about it this way. The number one problem that people are experiencing in this life is what is called not enough. And not enough is this. By the way, it's a problem that we all have. It doesn't matter how much money you have and what is your level. We have people in Hollywood, like big time actors, who feel like they are not enough. I was, speaking of that, I was coaching a young lady this week, and then she is a filmmaker. She created an amazing short film. She is one of the voices on Audible. If you are a subscriber to Audible audiobooks, you probably have heard her voice. She has so many talents and skills. She is like way up there. And she confided, she said, Renee, I often feel like I'm not enough. I often feel like I'm an imposter, which is not just her problem. It's my problem too. It's your problem. And it doesn't matter if you are the CEO of a company. It doesn't matter if you are the president of a country. You still have that feeling sometime. Okay, just stay with me. If you go back to school now, you think you need a degree. You can get a master's degree. You can get a PhD. None of that is going to help you. Because the fear of not enough that's holding you back will still be there. Think about it this way. No matter how much you know, let's take anything, any object, like a tree, a car, a house, your hand or your feet. If I asked you to steady just the hands, this lifetime will never be enough for you to steady. I guess that's why they have doctors for eyes, hands, ears, nose, feet. And guess what? Those doctors, when they open their offices, they call it a practice, which means they've been to school for so many years to be a doctor, but they still don't know much about it. They are practicing. Have you ever thought about it? Like a doctor is a practitioner. They are practicing on you. Okay. Just stay with me, because I'm about to prove to you that you are enough. You need to get rid of that fear so that you can start. And I'll share with you how to do so, right? For example, when I started my speaking career, I was a doorman at a hotel. If you read my book, you know I came to the United States with $5, 2 shirts, 1 pair of pants, and I didn't speak any English. And prior to that, my life, I started in a small village in Haiti in extreme poverty and diseases, and many of the villagers predicted I was not going to survive. So that's the whole story. But if I was waiting to get ready to launch my speaking career while I was a doorman at the hotel, I would never, ever get ready. Think of it this way. Bill Gates started Microsoft. Like, I'm not just picking on Bill Gates, but a lot of the companies out there. He was not ready when he launched Microsoft. He was not. Why? Because it gave us a Windows 95. It was like not working. It was frustrating. Then we got Windows 98 and Vista and on. But they continue to frustrate us. What was he doing? He kept improving it. And to this day, it's not ready. In fact, it will never be perfect. Do you see my point? Okay, let me share this with you. And if you are a Christian, please stay with me. Don't get too spiritual on me because I'm a Christian too, okay? I know what I'm talking about. Just stay with me in the physical realm like a person. I want to talk about Jesus. When Jesus launched his movement, his ministry, like Christianity, do you think he was ready? Well, not according to the rabbis in the Jewish tradition, the people who were the power that be, like they had to bless you. You have to spend 10, 20, or I don't know, 15 years studying under them, and they would commission you. Basically what they do, they take their brand and they shove it into your brand, and they say, hey, this is how you should live your life, how you should do it. Sort of like schools, right? When you go to school, that's what they do. They take their brand because somebody shove the brand in their head, and then they take it and then shove it in your brand, and then they tell you this is the way life is supposed to be. You get it? Now, Jesus, in essence, was a rebel. He didn't fit with the status quo. That's why he got so many troubles. And when he started his ministry, and a lot of, not all of them, but a lot of the big time, the power that be, the Jewish rabbis and all, they hated him. They felt like he was not teaching anything. He was a liar. And he was not the Messiah. He was tricking the people. All right? Now the question is, again, like I said to you, stay with me. Don't get too spiritual on me. And I know what you're going to say. Well, Jesus was the Son of God. Well, you are the Son of God too, or the daughter of God too. And you are just as ready as he was ready. How do I know? Because he told us that. Think of it this way. When prior to Jesus, it was only a handful of people in Jerusalem. They had the monopoly on God. They had access to God. But the rest of the world, they were out of it. And Jesus came. I remember the story in the Bible. By the way, if you don't have a Bible, you've never read the Bible, just follow me, follow the story, so to speak. When he went to the well, the Samaritan lady, you remember the Samaritan lady? And he asked the Samaritan lady for some water, and the Samaritan lady was shocked. She couldn't believe a Jewish man asked her for some water because they were considered, all of them, the entire country, they were considered to be dirty and filthy, unworthy, undeserving. Okay? And Jesus started talking to her, and he said to her, as a matter of fact, this is all over now. Because the hour has come when you do not have to go to Jerusalem to pray or to access God. Anywhere around the world, wherever you are, you can access God. Got it? So the secret is simplification. What do I mean by that? Jesus really simplified this whole process. And he didn't really give people 20,000 things to do. It's just a few instructions that he gave the entire world. You see? And then they hated him for that because he was not going deep. I mean, here's a guy talking about the parable of the seeds, and a guy talking about trees and telling a bunch of stories. But guess what? After 2,000 years, well over 2,000 years, Christianity is still strong and stronger than it has ever been. Okay, now let's get back to here today. And by the way, I'm not comparing Jesus with those people I'm going to mention, right? Just stay with me. Just don't be too spiritual on me, okay? I'm trying to help you here. Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil, Oprah, and a bunch of other people who are massively successful because they simply dumb down the information. And then guess what? The power that be in the field, they sort of like hate those people. In fact, Dave Ramsey couldn't have a financial, a brokerage license to sell financial services because he chose that path. They immediately cut him out. They rejected him. I was speaking at a convention for some financial advisors, and I mentioned Dave Ramsey, and immediately, right, everybody sat straight in their seat. It's like, whoa, it's like I ruffled some feathers, right? Now, those are the people who are massively successful. The rest of the haters, they are really not as successful as they are. Okay, for you, I want you to understand that you don't need a degree. You don't need another book. You don't need another course. It is your mind playing tricks on you. It is your fear holding you back. All you need to do is you have a life, which means you have some experiences. You've been through some things. You have overcome some challenges, and you can literally teach others how you did it. But the essence of knowledge is order. If it's not in the right order or sequence, well, you can't really, you're going to confuse the people. And then if you are confused, they are confused, which means you have to create a framework with step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 5. So I have this problem here. You got to solve a problem. I have this problem here, and you have the ideal life, the solution for me here, and then show me the steps. Very simple. You can write a book, give a speech, create a coaching program, a training program. It's that simple. You don't need anything else. Hear me out. Now, I'm not saying you don't need a coach. Hey, I always have coach. In fact, coaches, right? But what I'm saying is you don't need 20,000 books. You don't need to follow all those gurus and have an inbox full of messages and distractions. I mean, you try to unsubscribe and soon you are back at it again. You are following all those gurus. Make sense? So, simplification. Make a list of all the problems, the challenges you've been through. Make a list of all your skills. Anything you know. Like if you are great at sales, make a list. If you are great at customer service, put it there. Leadership, put it there. If you used to have low self-confidence, now you are very confident. Do you know how many people are suffering from low self-confidence, right? If you used to be a procrastinator, now you are no longer a procrastinator. You can teach it. You can speak on that topic alone. You can write a book on it. You can have a coaching program on it. In fact, I know a lot of people who would actually enroll in your coaching program so that they can learn how to take action. Does that make sense to you? All right? So I just gave it to you. Now you are ready. You don't need anybody to commission you. I'm giving you my blessing. I'm just kidding, because you don't need my blessing. You're already good enough. There's nothing missing. There's nothing broken. There's nothing lacking. You were created with the knowledge already. It is your ego, your fear trying to hold you back. All right? Take care. Have a good one.